Have you ever noticed some people who seem almost at peace when they are alone at home, while the idea of stepping out into the hustle and bustle of the world seems exhausting, even overwhelming? Perhaps you know someone like this, or maybe, you recognize this tendency in yourself. Today, we are going to explore the psychology of people who genuinely love staying at home, not just as a matter of habit, but as a reflection of deeper cognitive, emotional, and social processes that define who they are. At first glance, the love for staying at home might be misinterpreted as laziness or social withdrawal. Yet, psychology tells us that this preference often stems from complex and meaningful reasons. To understand it, we must consider both the internal and external worlds of these individuals, the way they think, feel, and interact with their surroundings and the people in their lives. Let's begin with the most fundamental factor, comfort and security. Home, for many, is more than just a physical space, it is a psychological anchor. It represents a place where one can exercise control, create routines, and feel safe from the unpredictable challenges of the outside world. For some, the external environment is overwhelming, filled with noise, social obligations, and unpredictable stimuli. Home offers predictability, familiarity, and a sense of personal sovereignty. It becomes a refuge where they can breathe without judgment, where decisions are theirs alone, and where they can regulate their own environment to meet their emotional and psychological needs. In essence, the home becomes a sanctuary, a place where the mind can rest and recover from the constant cognitive demands of life outside. Closely related to this is the concept of introversion and energy management. Many people who prefer staying at home are inherently introverted. Introversion, in psychological terms, is not a flaw, it is a way of processing the world. Introverted individuals gain energy from solitude and internal reflection, whereas social interactions, especially those that are prolonged or superficial, can be draining. In this sense, choosing to stay at home is not avoidance but an adaptive strategy for self-preservation. It allows them to conserve mental energy and engage in activities that are truly fulfilling, rather than depleting themselves in constant social interaction. The home environment provides them with the freedom to engage with their thoughts, passions, and hobbies without distraction, allowing their cognitive processes to flourish. Another critical aspect of this psychology is a preference for routine and predictability. Humans, in general, seek a degree of stability to manage anxiety and uncertainty. People who enjoy being at home often build structured daily routines that reduce unpredictability and enhance their sense of control. For example, they may have particular rituals for waking up, preparing meals, or engaging in leisure activities. These routines are not arbitrary, they provide psychological comfort and reassurance. When the world outside feels chaotic, returning to a known, controlled environment allows them to feel grounded. Predictability reduces stress hormones and provides a foundation upon which creativity, problem-solving, and emotional regulation can occur. Beyond comfort, solitude, and routine, staying at home often fosters cognitive and emotional benefits. Individuals who cherish their home environment are more likely to engage in reflective thinking, mindfulness practices, and creative pursuits. For some, home is a laboratory for personal growth. They might read, write, paint, play music, or explore new interests. This environment allows for uninterrupted concentration, deep thinking, and emotional processing, opportunities that are often limited in more socially demanding or unpredictable spaces. Psychologists have observed that periods of solitude, when chosen voluntarily, can lead to enhanced problem-solving skills, greater self-awareness, and a richer inner life. Far from being lonely, these individuals are often deeply connected to their own thoughts and emotions, cultivating resilience and insight that can be applied when they do interact with the world. It is also important to understand the social preferences and selective interaction patterns of people who love staying at home. The desire to remain in a personal space does not necessarily imply social avoidance or a lack of empathy. Rather, many home lovers are highly selective in their social interactions. They prefer deep, meaningful connections over superficial engagements, choosing quality over quantity when it comes to friendships and relationships. This selectivity is itself a psychological strategy. By limiting their exposure to overwhelming social stimuli, they can maintain emotional balance and invest their energy in relationships that truly matter. Paradoxically, this selectivity often results in more authentic and enduring bonds, as these individuals engage with others with greater attentiveness and emotional presence. Now, some may wonder about the negative implications of loving to stay at home. Indeed, in extreme cases, excessive home seclusion can resemble social withdrawal or avoidance behaviors. But the key distinction lies in the motivation and agency. For people with a healthy attachment to home, staying indoors is a conscious, fulfilling choice. It is not driven by fear, shame, or dysfunction. Instead, it is a reflection of personal priorities and energy management. They are not hiding from life. They are curating their life in a way that aligns with their psychological needs. Understanding this distinction is crucial, especially in a society that often equates social activity with success or emotional health. Psychologically, the love for home can also be linked to attachment styles developed during early life. People who feel safe, nurtured, and emotionally secure in their formative environments often carry this sense of security into adulthood, finding comfort in familiar spaces. Conversely, those who experienced instability or overstimulation early on may gravitate toward home as a place of control and reassurance. Either way, home serves as a psychological anchor, allowing them to regulate emotions and navigate the stresses of the world outside. Another fascinating aspect is the relationship between home and self-identity. For many, the way a person curates their home reflects their inner world, their values, creativity, and sense of self. Choosing to spend time at home can be a way to express individuality and cultivate a space that aligns with personal identity. Psychologists note that such environments are often rich with personal meaning, whether through art, books, decor, or routines. This personalization contributes to a sense of agency and psychological well-being, reinforcing the positive aspects of solitude. Importantly, in the modern era, the love of home is increasingly normalized and even celebrated. The rise of remote work, digital entertainment, and home-centered hobbies has made staying at home both practical and socially acceptable. Nevertheless, the psychological principles remain consistent. Home lovers are not simply adapting to external circumstances, they are fulfilling intrinsic needs for safety, cognitive engagement, emotional regulation, and selective social connection. As we reflect on this, it becomes clear that the psychology of people who love staying at home challenges common stereotypes. They are not necessarily lonely, antisocial, or passive. Instead, they demonstrate intentional living, self-awareness, and a profound understanding of their own psychological needs. They harness the power of their environment, routines, and solitude to cultivate mental health, creativity, and meaningful connections. So, what can we learn from this? First, we can appreciate that staying at home is a legitimate expression of personality, preference, and psychological well-being. Second, we can understand that introversion, selective socialization, and attachment to routine are not limitations but adaptive strategies for energy management and emotional health. Third, we can recognize that environments rich in personal meaning and predictability contribute significantly to cognitive and emotional flourishing. Finally, we can respect the boundaries and choices of home lovers, acknowledging that their fulfillment does not necessarily depend on the external world but on the richness of their inner and home-centered lives. In conclusion, the love of home is not merely a lifestyle choice, it is a window into the mind of an individual who values safety, reflection, creativity, and meaningful connection. It reflects a sophisticated psychological strategy that balances internal needs with external realities. By understanding this, we not only gain insight into human behavior but also cultivate empathy and appreciation for the diverse ways people seek fulfillment. To those who find peace at home, your sanctuary is not a limitation, it is a testament to your self-awareness, resilience, and capacity for a rich and meaningful life. Ultimately, psychology teaches us that the environments we inhabit are not just physical spaces, they are extensions of our minds. For those who cherish the comfort of home, every quiet hour, every familiar corner, and every personal ritual is an essential element of well-being. And in understanding this, we come closer to understanding ourselves and the varied tapestry of human experience.